today, ladies and gentlemen, ProPublica got their hands on these training videos for Project 2025. And there are a bunch of them, like how to, organize, appointees and vet people and what it's like to be in there, all that kind of stuff. And we're going to get to each one of them. I'm going to, before the election, I'm going to go through all of these. I'm going to try even do it before the end of August, between like mid-September. I probably, because there's a bunch of ones that might be a little dry. But between now and mid-September, I'm going to have them all out so people can look at these things and judge for themselves what's all there. Now, this one right off the top, though, I got to say is low-hanging road apples. This one is called Left-Wing Code Words and Language. And I don't know whether to go Harry Carey or Jiminy Glick right out of the gate on this one. You guys will have to let me know. But here we go. Project 2025, private training video, left-wing code words and language. Let's jump in. It is this was just under like 50 minutes. So this is a serious undertaking. It's not quite as long as like one of the, you'll see. It's just fun. And then I do have a couple other videos after I'm done with this if I have time. I have a lot of them actually, but I will see if I can crowbar them in because you'll see.
Hi, I'm Katie Sullivan, and
Hi, how are you? Glad you're working for the Heritage Foundation, and the one, and the two. What kind of glasses are you wearing? Those are wonderful. They look so good on your face. I'm wearing, these are contacts. They're just the big sort. Anyways, all right.
the normal American.
By the way, this is Katie Sullivan. She's the former acting assistant attorney general for the Office of Justice Programs at the U.S. Department of Justice. And she's fucking crazy. Let me just start that. Comes with. She's fantastic. Yeah. Katie Sullivan looks like she should be in a fucking Karen video. Yeah. And basically that's what this is. This is basically the world's longest Karen video.
American woman. But to the left, that makes me a cisgendered ethno-imperialist birthing person.
With a slight neck crick that makes me all sassy.
With pronouns she, her.
That's so much. Oh my God. If I had to do that every time it comes up, I'd have to do it like twice a year.
Words like that are quite a mouthful. And it's one...
If you say them all at once in a defensive posture, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say she's going to say a lot of things that are quite a mouthful.
America needs to spit out before we choke on it.
America needs to spit it out before we choke on it because collectively, Katie is our mom. Also, this is the opening. And for anybody, and I know who you know who you are out there in the shitterverse. Anybody saying Trump doesn't have anything to do with this, they've distanced themselves from it. It was never set up with the people around him. Okay, never mind. Almost everyone in this worked for Trump in his administration or was put where they were by a maggot that wanted a cabinet position. Watch the opening.
In the eyes of many in the world,
the conservative movement presents. Are you a conservative out there and you didn't realize that you've peed in the corner of this particular sandbox? Now you have.
4-year ceremony we accept as normal is nothing less than a miracle.
In America, we understand.
I think he was talking about sex with Nancy.
And that a nation is only living as long as it is striving.
I think that, a nation is like a shark. They say a shark, if it stops swimming, it dies. And I think what we have here is a dead shark.
Only a few generations have been granted the role of
join us.
Defending freedom in its hour of maximum danger.
This
great nation will
But every generation thinks they are.
endure as it has endured, will revive.
For the record, for anybody who's new here, that is not the voice of George W. Bush on that megaphone right then.
And will prosper.
Whether we go forward together with courage or turn back.
Or whether we sit down in front of the Iran-Contra hearings and say, I don't recall, is up to
Back to
us.
policies that weakened our economy, diminished our leadership in the world. America's future will be in your hands.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That should kind of settle it. Project 2025 Presidential Transition Project. With the symbol of the president, and then the thing, and then all the cabinet members, and then today, you know, like Vance can't even fucking read the goddamn memo, and he's like giving the thumbs up to Hoekstra, who's worked on this, and it's... Whew. All right, yeah. So just in case you think, you know, what? I don't know anything about this. Highly coordinated. I mean, it's the entire conservative movement, people. Hidden messages. The monsters in the attic.
Bethany, are your children afraid of monsters in the attic or under?
Bethany, are your children scared? Okay. Are there things out there? Are they scared of the ladies with the men wearing the lady makeup telling stories?
The bed?
Yeah.
Former deputy chief of staff at USAID. Just so you know, this isn't some fucked up clatch on the, you know, like a dual lady podcast on the Roseanne network. She worked at the Justice Department. She was former deputy chief of staff at staff at USAID. Just so you know. So, and I would like you to remember those titles as they continue to talk, because you're like, holy fuck, these people are nuts.
They have been, but we always tell them that they do not exist.
Today we have news. There
are monsters. Sorry, kids. For your health.
are monsters in Uncle Sam's attic.
There are monsters in Uncle Sam's attic. Wait, it gets better.
The words, phrases, definitions that are used, which may look like one thing, but absolutely mean another. And it is scary.
They do mean another. I don't know if you heard that, but you think surely she means mean another. Nope.
Which may look like one thing, but absolutely mean another. And it is
Absolutely mean another. I remember Nina Another. Wasn't she on Different Strokes like for 2 seasons?
scary.
During this training, we will identify the problem,
Which obviously is woke left Marxist criminal words, transgender ladyboy whistling. My husband keeps flying to Thailand and coming back with a bump on his lip.
discuss examples from our time in the federal government, as well
Which is the most terrifying part of this whole thing.
as the 5 cross-cutting principles of the current
I'm sorry. Did you say cutting or...
time in the federal government, as well as the 5 cross-cutting principles.
I heard something else. I don't know about you, but one more time.
From our time in the federal government, as well as the 5 cross-cutting principles of the
That was not cutting. She did not say cutting. I'm just saying, look, we're 2 minutes in, a minute if you don't include the opening titles, and already she's Freudian slipping on a banana.
current
Till they put us in the truck. Let's go.
administration. We will teach you how to unwind the words and phrases that have been so artfully layered into every document
Every document in caps.
in the federal government.
Who do you think insisted on every document being capitalized of the two of them? I'm going with Katie. I think it's Katie. It might have been Bethany. Probably Katie.
You can do this in any role at any level of
Yeah. The house janitor.
seniority. This training will prepare you to make
by the way, I know what you're wondering. Yes, they have a little model of the fucking of the Capitol, or sorry, of the White House, like she's Lady Elaine, what's her name, from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and that's a copy of the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, just rolled up on the table in case they need it for reference. Yeah, I just hope there's not a fan in the room because those things are really loud.
Make changes and fast. The left continually pivots and assaults definitions
Continually.
and phrases. They twist words
Yeah, they use words like continually and cunting.
and phrases to support subconscious acceptance of a philosophy that was rejected or is against the grain of human existence, like
Democracy, which is, I don't know if you know, it didn't occur like naturally. It wasn't like government sprang up out and the fruit that was born from it was democracy. It was a little. There was a lot of forces against it.
what is a woman? Perhaps
A woman can be a biological female who is over the age of 18. It can also be a reference point for a trans woman. It is not an autogynephiliac. It is not somebody. It is not a crossdresser. Crossdressers don't consider themselves women. It's not a drag queen. Don't consider themselves women. A vast majority of them are gay men and very proud of it. Thank you very much. Handled. We'll go with that. Okay.
perhaps the most effective tool the left wields is their ability to engage in constant subliminal advertising.
Now, who amongst you thinks that she and her partner here are about to engage in a bunch of like flip word speak and go, this means that, when it absolutely doesn't, to reshape what they believe is their conversation, the words and the purpose of their conversation, so they can invert language for their own purposes. Just not crazy. It doesn't happen.
Through their narrative, words, and phrases.
And these ladies will speak in very plain English and not hyperbolic in any way, so that they don't engage in the exact same thing, because it is wrong.
Marxism became socialism, then democratic socialism, and is now represented by the terms social justice and equity.
Okay. You can see where we're going. So what she wants is, she wants social justice and equity to equal Marxism. So it's by the way, please don't get like caught up in their definitions. We're just watching this to see what they're talking about. But don't get mad about this, because this wasn't aimed at you. This wasn't even meant, you weren't even allowed to see this. This is one of their internal conversations. So fear not in terms of their stuff, but just recognize that she's doing exactly what she accuses the, quote, the left of doing, even referring to them as the left, because the left to her, instead of Democrats, right, which is the party they are actually engaging with, they use the left because the left to them means Marxist, and nothing shy of that. There is no gray area. There's no middle ground. It is like they are hardcore Marxist communists, and they want to tear down this country. Meanwhile, these assholes are talking about how can we tear down the government from the inside and make it in our image. Hilarious.
This is perhaps the most scary of all.
Katie,
Is it though?
what brings to mind is the quote, "He who controls the language rules the world." It's
So I guess this video is how to control the language.
attributed to Joseph Stalin and other tyrants. And George Orwell stated, "He who controls language controls culture." Even more, Hitler and others lived by the creed. If you repeat a lie often enough, people will believe it.
Yeah, by the way, in the Hitler and others crowd, that includes Steve Bannon and Donald Trump. He's in the others crowd. Like that's literally the method he primarily uses.
Without doubt, it's true. Language is a powerful and often controlling tool.
As we're about to show you.
Career bureaucrats and the left are also using language to change culture and gain more and more authority, thereby upsetting the balance of power envisioned by our founding fathers.
Or in their belief, extending that to more people in the spirit of what the founding fathers wanted, as opposed to narrowing the reach of the Constitution to simply your class and your race. I'm kidding. You were saying?
This, in essence, weaponized language against the American people.
You mean like phrases like America first and make America great again without specifying when exactly you consider America great? Because I think, again, like perfection, greatness is a road. It's not a destination. It's the path you're on. We are on a path of greatness. Always improving on ourselves, always trying to make it better, even through the bumps and the ruffles, right? That's the idea. Same thing, perfection is a road, not a destination, because it would just be a stagnant place, and that's certainly not perfect, is it? I'm sorry, you were being crazy. What?
Training is vital to you as a political appointee. If there's one thing you take from this training, it is to...
Oh, by the way, if a trainee is watching this, they've seen these two ladies say all of this shit everywhere else online. This is just a collection of gripes from Twitter.
know when you start your job as a political appointee, every single word, phrase, and acronym.
Every single word?
Your job as a political appointee, every single word, phrase, and acronym must be vetted, and you must determine what implications every word has before publishing or moving forward with any official or internal document. All right.
You would not believe how much trouble I had with and but. You know? I'm like, does it matter? And, but, and. What do you mean? And my butt versus that's my butt and. What's the difference? I don't get it.
Right. So now that we have identified the problem.
You have not identified the problem. You have established both of you as a bunch of busybody assholes.
Let's give the viewers a taste of what we saw in the Trump administration.
A tiny little mushroom. He used to poke it out at us all the time, anytime you walk by. Sorry. A lot of people doing rails of Adderall.
Bethany and I were both part of a coordinated effort in the Trump administration focused on trying to take back hijacked language and definitions across the United States government.
And you did a great job.
And even at our engagements in the United Nations. From our experiences, we will teach you how to identify the left's progressive language.
You can that should be easy, right? It just kind of smells gay, right? While they're talking, you're like, somebody gay? Is this gay? Oh, it's just a woman. Never mind. Same difference. You know, I just smelled something weak and I assumed.
Scrutinize career staff compositions for dangerous language.
I got to tell you, this sounds like what you guys say the left does.
And how to combat their manipulative efforts, ensuring clarity of definition and conservative intention. Bethany and I are going to give you some examples of what we mean by this need to always ensure clarity. But in no way are we able to foresee the future. And
ma'am, I gotta be honest, I think you're even misremembering the past. I'm not even sure if you're aware of what's going on in the present.
Anticipate how the progressive left will continue to co-opt even more words and definitions. We can tell you the words and phrases being used today, but by the time you enter the administration,
they might be using a whole different. At some point, home run might be a base hit. Butt might be out of the park. A 1, a 2, a 3 might be sung at the end of the 7th inning stretch. You don't know.
examples may be obsolete. This will help you spot crucial issue areas to pay close attention to. We do not know what they will be calling men and women by the time you begin your tenure.
Obviously, I don't know if she's read the Biden-Harris papers that they were going to like transition the transition words into a new transition and how language is done. So basically, we're going to be referring to each other in beeps. We're all moving towards R2 language. Yeah, I think men will be and women will be.
with the administration. The left is trying to dismantle America and rebuild it in their own image by using the
And that's our fucking job.
art of deception, and words and definitions are their weapon of choice.
That's why we're making this secret video that we're not showing to anyone else, and the only way you saw it was it got leaked. Those sneaky lefties.